The tradition of the Memorial Day observance goes back to the American Civil War, the war that had the highest amount of soldiers killed in action than any other war that we've been involved with. Back right immediately after the American Civil War, there were many observances called Decoration Day, both in the North and South. General John Logan of the Grand Army of the Republic, which was the veterans organization of the time, had made note of this and thought that there should be a national observance to honor our war dead. The first state to observe a Memorial Day, if you will, as a state was New York. Although it's arguable, Washington, D.C. historians and Congress give credit to the very first city in the United States of having an organized Memorial Day observance as Waterloo, New York. As time went on, sadly, the wars went on. Our nation's dead were continued to be remembered at Memorial Day observations on May 30th of every year. May 30th was selected by General Logan because after research, it was shown there were no significant Civil War battles on that day, and he did not want Memorial Day to come to be the remembrance or anniversary of a particular battle, but rather the day to reflect on the dead. As time went on, in 1968, Congress proposed and passed the National Holidays Act. This act moved 4 national holidays to the last Monday of the month that they were in to allow federal employees to have a 3-day weekend. Those holidays included Memorial Day, which is now observed on the last Monday of the month of May. Sadly, a byproduct of this change was that Americans have come to think of Memorial Day as the day that marks the first day of their summer break. We need to remember, we need to understand that Memorial Day is the day that we remember those who made the ultimate sacrifice. When the time comes that we forget them and forget their names, they disappear. But as long as we remember and we are thankful, they never truly fade from our sight and our history. As I prepared for this presentation, I was reminded of a presentation that I made a long time ago, and it was a tough one. Oh my gosh, it was tough. It was one of those things a professional military officer really has to get just right, and I knew that. I wrote my speech, although the majority of the speech was prepared for me. It was that important. Rehearsed it. I was so worried about it that I made sure I had someone with me. I needed support. Oh my gosh, I practiced it on my whole way to where the presentation was going to be given. This presentation wasn't like any others I'd made. It wasn't during the normal times I've given them, but that was okay. I was going to get it right. Preparing for this brought back the memories of that presentation. Back then, I arrived where I was going to give it. The person I took with me for a little moral support, the Army chaplain assigned to my group, walked up to the front door of the house at 12:30 in the morning. It was 10 degrees below zero. I was wearing my Class A uniform. The chaplain was in his Class A's, berets, jump boots. We knocked on the door, and I couldn't help but thinking, time has not changed in the last 200-year history of our military. The lights went on. The woman came down the steps. She got halfway down, grabbed her nightcoat, fell to the stairs, and started screaming. She knew. She invited us in. As we walked in, her husband came and joined her. And as this couple embraced and held each other, I began the speech, my presentation that I'd worked so hard for. Mr. and Mrs. Smith, the Secretary of the Army, has asked me to inform you. I couldn't finish. I prepared it as hard as I could. I could not get through it. So on Memorial Day, we look back at these things. We remember. All of us in some way are affected by those who have given everything. Sometimes it's family. Sometimes it's friends. Sometimes we don't even know anyone who served, but we look at those around us and we realize they do. I think of my family members who have fought in all the major wars, who are no longer here to tell their stories. I think of my mentor. I think of those who aren't here and could have been me. So please, on this Memorial Day, take the time to think about the great price, the great debt that we owe to those who have gone before us, to ensure that we're here over our summer vacations, to ensure that we have a volunteer army that we don't need a draft because they were willing to put themselves in harm's way. And remember, when you approach a veteran or you approach anyone, this is not the day to say Happy Memorial Day. Really think about the meaning of this day. Thank you for listening to me, and I hope this gives you some idea of some of the thoughts that I have about this day.